What's up, guys? Today we are moving on to becoming the experts in creating reservations and managing them in KWHotel 3. But before we do that, let's just talk about the front desk's command center, and it's by no means an exaggeration. Your reservation calendar is the place that your front desk will spend their majority of time in. So before we start creating reservations, we need to discuss how the reservation calendar works, what features does it have that will help you tackle the reservations faster, to discuss any availabilities with your customers quicker, and simply be more efficient with your work than opposed to using the Excel spreadsheets or notebooks, regular notebooks, okay? So again, there is a short presentation about it, so let's move on. The first benefit of using your calendar in KWHotel 3 is that it gives you an instant access to availabilities and reservation statuses. If you think about it, it's much easier to take a quick look at the calendar and immediately know how big is the availability of your hotel, or how many reservations have been currently paid, or how many arrivals and departures there are for today, than, as I said, instead of browsing through the notebooks or Excel spreadsheets. So this is one of the huge advantages it gives you. Secondly, as I've shown you in the recent videos, it gives you very quick customer, room, and reservation searches. So I won't be talking more about that. You have seen it in the previous videos. We will also use it during the later part of the tutorial, but it will be just a quick reminder how it works. Now, it's a tool that gives you an easy reservation creator, which means that you can actually create a reservation within 30 seconds. Since the moment your customer called you, you just ask for a name and you can write down his name, you can tell him the price and save the reservation. That is all you have to do. You can later return to this reservation and simply put the remaining details in it. Okay? And the last but not least, if you have the standard or pro version, you can again synchronize this calendar with online booking portals such as Booking.com, Expedia, and so on, or the channel managers, YieldPlanet, WooBook, and so on. So it gives you the huge time-saving opportunity. It also significantly lowers the number of overbookings you may receive, and you simply can move or add reservations on the calendar, and every action you do will be instantly or almost instantly reflected in the booking portals. Okay, so I think this covers it up. Now let's go to the calendar itself. Let's just close this presentation. Let's close this window and let's open that. So since our last video, I have made several arrangements to the calendar. First of all, I have turned off the reservation source reminder because I think it's not useful for the purpose of this tutorial right now. And secondly, I have retired Mariusz from any reservation, and instead I have created several different reservations, but each of them, okay, maybe not each of them, but they serve their purpose, okay? And I'll explain in a moment why. So let's talk about the basics of the reservation calendar. First of all, in the front, you have the calendar itself. So as you can see, each reservation has a different color. Of course, you can see the name, you can also see the address, and you can see the comments. It depends on the configuration. You could see it in the previous video, I think, or 2 videos before. So if you want to see comments, you can always go to Tools, Configuration, and in the Calendar section, you can enable displaying comments. I'll also show you, if you don't want to see comments on every reservation, I will later on show you how to turn it on for the specific reservation, okay? Now, let's move on. So I mentioned the colored statuses. Each status means something. You can see these statuses here. So if you memorize these statuses, you don't actually have to look here. But if you don't remember it, you can still have a look. So Janine Rindo, the reservation has been scheduled, but it hasn't been paid for. If you look at these 3 rows, this one is for the past reservations. So reservation has finished, the customer has not arrived, so we have a no-show reservation. This is the present, so it's, for example, occupied, but it was not paid for, so we should definitely handle this issue. And these are the future reservations. You can manage these colors, you can change them. So if you click here, you can change the color of each status, but majority of our customers are using the default ones. But if you want to, for example, have all the past reservations with the same color, all the present ones with a different color, and the future ones with the third different color, you can do that. I know some customers did it like that. So we have those colorful statuses, and this is great because if someone, for example, you have an arrival or a departure at your front desk, you can of course open the reservation, but even the first glance you take on the reservation calendar means that you already know by large what is happening with this reservation. Okay, next, if we don't look at the calendar, we move on to the left, we have the symbols of our rooms. And on top of them, there is the room group filter. If you click it, you can filter which room group you want to see. The remaining ones will be hidden. And this is really useful if you want to accept, for example, a group of tourists. They are calling you or they send you an email and you need to quickly check the availability. This is one of the options. I'll show you different ones in a minute, but this is one way to do it. Okay, you take a look. Okay, the double room is sold out. Okay. Now let's move it back, and next to the room symbols you have those housekeeping statuses we were discussing before, and it also gives you a huge power and control over your reservation process, because take a look, we know that today it is Friday 14th, we have Janine Rindo, the group reservation in the double room group. If I want to see which room group is it and I don't want to guess, you can click the group rooms option, and voila, I know that this is the double room. I can see it here. And we see that Janine Rindo is coming here today, but we see the housekeeping status is red, which means the room needs to be cleaned first. So this is an important alert for your housekeeping team to do it right now. And in the standard or pro versions, you can actually prepare the housekeeping reports and they can be sent automatically to the email addresses you specify. So it can be actually fully automated, except for, of course, the cleaning process. But perhaps this is the future, but right now, automating reports is more than enough, I think. So this is one way to read the calendar. And now moving below that, oh, and one more thing. Here you can see the number of beds in each room. 2 plus 1 means 2 beds plus an extra bed, okay? And this is a single room, this is a double room, so you can quickly tell. And this is very useful. This option, if you have more than at least 5 rooms on the calendar, these will appear. If you have less than 5 rooms visible, as you can see, these are not visible because it's easy to count to 3, okay? And let's get back here. So how to read it? This means that in total, counting all the rooms that are visible on the calendar right now, you have 8 rooms which are vacant, and in these 8 rooms, there are 11 vacant beds. So this is another way to quickly assess the availability of your hotel, okay? Now let's talk about the bottom toolbar. So, starting from the left, we have the date. So we have the dates, we can quickly change the date, we can change the month, we can change the year if we want to. And here is the today button. So for example, we are somewhere there in the future. And if I click today, it will move me to the current day. And the current day, as you can see, is marked like that. It's highlighted, so you never miss it. Now we can differentiate the width and height of the calendar. So this is up to your preference. I know that with the large properties like hundreds of apartments and so on, they are often very squished. Maybe not like that because it's not okay. It's also readable because you can also see how much of the availability is taken. So I'm not saying it's bad. It all depends on how you want to use this calendar and how much information at once you want to see, okay, how many details you want to see. So I will make it, this is my preferred way, so it covers the last room can be seen here. Of course, when I'm making videos, it's useful because it's very legible, it's very readable, but as I said, you can do it in multiple ways, and it's all up to you. And of course, if you are using the standard or pro version, and you are, for example, you have purchased the training session with us, you can always ask our specialist how it can be done in your property to make the most out of it, okay? Now, we have the Add Reservation button, so if I select any term and I click this button, it will open the reservation screen. You can also create a reservation by selecting the term and hitting Enter button, or you can also select the first day of the reservation and either click Add Reservation or click Enter. And when you get there, let me just show it to you. And when you get there, you can always extend the reservation here. Then we have the Add Out of Order button. I was explaining it before. So if you want to create a room refurbishment, you don't want to have any misunderstandings in the front desk, you can do it like that. And also, as I said, if you are synchronizing with booking portals, it will be also reflected there. Now, the Find Room, we were discussing it. If you want to find the perfect room for your customer, you can do it here. If you have inventory in your room, perfect. It can be also differentiated here. You can limit your choice to a specific room group, and you can also specify the dates that your customer is seeking for, and the results will be populated here. Next, we have the Find Customer option. So, as I mentioned before, you can write three and space or 4 letters to start searching for the customer, and you have plenty of information here. I was not even discussing the GDPR options, additional statuses, but you can find that in our help center. I will pin it to this video so you can read in detail about accessing customers, about managing them, and so on. Next, we have the Add Group Reservation button. So basically, this is a reservation for several rooms. So if you are running a hostel, you will be doing it often. If you are running a hotel that accepts many tourist groups, it will also be frequently used. And one great option with room groups, with group reservations, if you have plenty of them, is that if you want to make sure that you are looking only at the group reservations on the calendar, and also you want to know which reservation is a part of which group reservation, you have this button, Group Bookings Filter. And if I click it, look, all the individual reservations have disappeared. And all I know is that every group reservation on the calendar is highlighted in white. And if I click it, like that, it will highlight only these reservations that belong to this group reservation. So all remaining reservations will be in white. So this is a great way to quickly check which reservations belong to which group reservation, okay? And it's highlighted in red if you click it. So I check it off. And now, moving reservations without the Shift key. If by default, this is activated by default, and when you have it enabled, you can move your reservations like that. So you can quickly change the room, for example. And if you hover the mouse cursor, you move it here, and you stop clicking, you will open the reservation window. You confirm your choice, and voila, the room has been moved. If you don't want to accidentally move reservations across the calendar, all you have to do is you deselect it, and as you can see, I cannot do it anymore. But if I select it, I can do it again. All right? Now, because I don't want this video to be long, but there's not so much to say about it, I think. Okay, no, we will cut this video right now because I don't want to rush through things. So I'll see you in the next video.